said to the early answer, and that you find the kind of wins, maybe the last two wins, the most reassuring as a manager, because you can never know when those games are going to happen, where it's all about the attitude and the fight. But is that a fair observation?
Again, from the beginning,
just there's certain ways, different types of wins, aren't there? And the last two wins have been slightly different. You know, is that more reassuring as a manager? Because I don't know how you prepare players to be like that. I mean, this squad seems to have
we knew it before. We go to Burnley, we don't expect that it's. We don't need to know about the weather to understand what's really strange that day, but we don't need to know whether it will be a massive fight. So we just have to show it. Because Burnley lost until we arrived there only 8 games. Now it's 9. That's actually for a bottom of the table. It's nothing. You usually have completely different numbers. That means they are completely competitive. So you give this kind of information. What you need for that, you need the relationship between you and the players, because we talk like this, similar things every 2 days. So when my job is to make sure that the boy understand the most important game in the world happens now. I mean, it's Norwich tomorrow, and without a shadow of a doubt, it's exactly like it is. So how can you make sure that you get there? So it's about to give the boys the right information, and they need to listen, need to believe, and need to trust what you say. Not that you make it up. Burnley is world class, and there's no chance for us. So you don't do it like this. You have to be in the subject, and that's what we do. And the same with Inter Milan. And if anybody have expected that any team in the world would go there and just a few passes alone in front to go finish it off. There's no chance that it will be happen. So you don't have to think about that. You need to know that there's the potential we have is a fact. The quality we make of it is unsure, because not always the same. But the fight we have to put in is always at 100%. And that's exactly what we have to do. And that's how I said, in complete different circumstances, different opponents, they ask for different things, but 2 days, 1 day recovery, 1 day still to recover and to prepare, next day go again. That's the situation of the boys, and that's what we have to make sure that you are always open for it. Let me say like this, even after you have 800 games. James Milner, which is an incredible number, by the way. Doesn't look that old. There is that still each football game you play is the most special you can imagine. And that's what we try to do.
By the way, my mistake. We're playing on Saturday. Ignore me. Not enough sleep.
I know. What did you say?
I said there'll be a Sunday.
I'm waiting for the Sunday guys.
No, there's no Sunday guys.
Did you like the game?
Dominic, then Dave to finish. Dom.
Forgive me if it's a bit of repetition, but
I would not be surprised.
Well, you've literally haven't you? No, I was going to say about the substitutions that you made on Wednesday night. Was the way they played an example for what's going to be needed for the final, for the run-in for everybody within the squad? It was the perfect example of whether it's 1 minute, whether it's 30 minutes, everybody has to make a difference.
Yeah, definitely. But to be honest, that's good that you asked, because in your wonderful and the newspaper you work for, there, one of you guys said that now it's clear why I want to have 5 subs, because of the difference we can make in these situations to other teams. It's that I cannot believe that somebody who earns his money with talking about football still doesn't get it. Still doesn't get it. I'm honestly, it says in a situation like that, it's what we do to have an advantage tactically. It has nothing to do with it. Absolutely nothing. That's something what every coach will use. If you play, we played 2 weeks ago against Burnley, and they will have problems with injuries now at the moment, but they could have as well 5 changes. That's how it is. So, and then you bring on a new tile player, and Bakos has a problem, stuff like this. Now they have problems with injuries, but that's a completely different situation. But if you don't have that, then you have always the players out there, and you can share the intensity of the situation much better. And it's somebody else says, again, it's like, if you want it because you have an advantage, that's absolutely not true. And I cannot believe that it's still discussed like this. That's the reason why in this country, there's still not, it's in all other countries, it works pretty well. That doesn't make Bayern 20 points ahead of other teams or whatever. Or in Italy, like all of a sudden the better teams are running away. They are not. They're very tight competitions. But we hide here in this country behind the fact that Not sure. It helps them. It helps them. Cannot see it helps us. Look at Crystal Palace. The offensive players they have, they could change them all three in each game. We would have 20% of the injuries we have now because we push them through, play again. Yeah, because we have to win football games. 5 subs. It's a must-have for the future. For me now already, but at least for the future. But because we have to make sure that we give the players the opportunity to save energy, because they cannot do it on the pitch. We have to make it like this. Means we have 3 players who obviously on the pitch wait for a different reason, a very intense period. Like Fab played for Brazil, came back, played immediately, and you have 3 players out there and you can bring them and fresh legs. Save 1 from an injury, and the other 3 can show didn't play for 60 minutes before. That's the reason for it, and nothing else. And it would be really kind if you could stop discussing it on another level, because it's just not true. You can ask whoever you want. Nobody thinks it's an advantage from a tactical point of view. Just you and a few others think that's why they want it clear. Klopp wants 5 subs because then he can bring these guys. Nothing to do with that.
Just to be clear, that's not Dom's opinion, but I think it was.
It is.
Yeah, no.
I'm 100% sure it's his opinion as well.
No.
It's not your opinion. Then write an article in the same newspaper and say to the guy who said it, come on, why are you saying that? Do that.
Anyway, Dom,
yeah, do that. Take your time. Take your time and write an article. But you didn't read it, or what?
No, he did. Come on.
He's in a delicate situation.
Yeah. The Dom's point was about it. You happy with that?
Yes.
I forgot completely the question.
I think it was the attitude that they showed. When they
But top.
Sorry, Dom.
No,
Yes.
not sorry.
Dave.
Jürgen, just going back to what you said a little earlier about the best squad you've ever had, and also one of the better teams in Liverpool history. I just want to know, not like obviously that's a fair assessment is clear, but I just wonder what it is about them, because you were talking yourself there about the intensity in midweek. And against Inter, they match your intensity, but in the end, you were able, when they tired, to sort of to be aggressive and actually understand the situation and go for the kill. And I wonder whether it's sort of part of this team, because they seem such an intelligent team, able to take on your tactical approach and understand it and apply it. And so I'm just wondering, is that one of the reasons why you rank them as you do?
It would be a shame after 7 years if they wouldn't get what I tell them. That would be or a miracle how to survive as a manager if they wouldn't do that. So we grew together, obviously, as a group and as a team. And I rank them that high. I had outstanding squads in my life. So thank God. The Dortmund squad 10, 11, 12 was insane. The only problem was we only had it for 2 years. And then the football world thought the Dortmund journey was long enough. So now let's pick a few. That doesn't happen here. So we can keep, that means we can build on the things we did together. And that makes a difference. But unfortunately, that doesn't mean, because we talk now again about sports, the Olympic Games are happening in the moment. So thank God at Olympia, at least, we talk about 1, 2, and 3, like, oh, that's a really great achievement. In football, it's only one great achievement. You win it or not. So nobody gives you, you get a medal for second place in a final, but it's not exactly the same like a silver medal at the Olympic Games. And in the league, it's the same. So we fight, obviously, with the best team for a long time with City, and a lot of really, really good teams who are close to that for success. We need that. We need the quality we have. If we wouldn't have the quality, we couldn't be near here. But we came through in the last few years with the same squad pretty much, not exactly, but a similar squad. Just 7, 8, 9, 10 were injured, and we had to get through it somehow. We were sitting here. We didn't speak once about the squad. We only spoke about then because the players were not available. So we speak just about the players available. Now we have more available, but the rules didn't change. We only can line up 11. That's what we do. And because of the character the boys show, you are right. I rate them really high.